Okay. Hold on. Okay. All right. We're back. Bo Schwartz, you want to pick up where we left off?
Yes, we return to Vorel, alone in the desert.
Oh, that's right.
The warm sun bearing down upon you, but you are cool, for you are cold-blooded, and it is comfortable. And you continue on following the path of the figure, the lizard folk figure in the distance. Not 10 minutes later, you can still see Nash off to your right, jogging back towards Slave Town. Cresting what appears to be a kind of dune, you see behind it. How do I describe this? It's you know how there's a tent, I guess, let's say. We'll call it a tent.
Okay.
How do I describe a tent?
Tent, you say? How exotic.
But it's just a piece of canvas sort of wrapped around this large area, brown. And this is the familiar kind of housing of your people who might have something sacred to protect from the elements, because they often don't use such things. And outside, you see two lizard folk guarding the front door, and you see the person you saw in the distance also walking towards that.
Do they appear to be of the desert lizard tribes?
So it's not. There's nothing. No tribe indicated. However, you do have the sense that this is something of importance, something of a spiritual nature.
Okay. I will follow the individual I was following thus far.
Yeah, so additional 10 minutes as you approach the tent and get closer. The figure you were following walks in to the tent, leaving the two lizard folk on the outside. They appear to both be armed with spears. They're makeshift. They look like they're made from it's like they're wooden, but on the tips are tied like what appear to be giant teeth of some kind from some unknown animal. And they're out there. They're looking towards you, even though they're standing quite stoically and unmoving, as your folk are capable of being quite still. So they might not be directly looking at you, but their eyes to the side, like you're being witnessed, approaching.
Creepy.
Well, I will walk up. The guy entering the tent didn't do one of those like hold the door open, look back, and like nod kind of things, did they?
No, they didn't. They didn't really seem to acknowledge her at all.
Okay, then I will walk. Tell them about 10 feet from these two guards. Take a nice wide stance. And say in Draconic, "Brothers, I have heard the summons."
They look to you and they say, Are you armed?"
"With nothing but muscle."
"Leave your earthly possessions on the ground here."
I take off my water skin with the coin pouch on it and drop it on the ground.
"Now please observe respect. You are entering the presence of our most revered Tepala."
Hand to my chest and a slight bow. "I see."
"She is a priestess of the stars and seeks your audience."
A great
And from
honor.
the tone of their so lizard folk don't have tones like fleshlings. You can tell these are women that are speaking to you. They're not male. They're not male lizard folk.
Excellent.
And they sort of step aside, and one of them holds the flap and beckons you enter.
I enter.
All right, as you go in, it's dark inside, but also it appears larger on the inside than it did from the outside. There's this strange amount of room and space on the inside. It is sandy, it's musty, smells of lizard folk, which is a pleasing scent. Of lady lizard folk, no less.
Probably a real relief after your last companion.
Now, inside the room is sand, but towards the center of this area is a mound of sand, and atop it, it's almost formed sort of a chair, and atop it is the figure you saw in the field, your height, 7 foot, green-skinned
Whoa.
lizard folk and sits there. She says, "Welcome, child.
I will
Kneel
descend
before me."
I already am. I
So
kneel.
you kneel down. "You are here because I have heard your cries, child. Your cries of pain and anguish. And from seeing you now, I can smell the stench of fleshlings. You spoke with one of my companions in the desert." And then from the back, you see the movement, and a large snake sort of moves forward. And you recognize it as the snake that you had a moment with several days prior. And the snake circles around underneath her arm, and she pets it. Says, "The desert has heard your cries, and the lands weep for you. What is your name, child?"
Vorel Rasvim Kurik.
She considers you for a brief moment. "A Kurik. You are from a strong tribe."
An old tribe that I've lost.
"Your blood runs ice in this tribe. You come from a line of great warriors and hunters. But tell me, child, what ails you so?"
The beings of the desert, they are broken, factioned, and out for blood and slaves. I have joined a group of them looking to reverse this blight. But as the fleshlings tend to do, they have become lost and confused and part of the problem.
"Indeed, the stars have told me such. Are you aware that a great, great god has been awoken?"
Is this the mighty dragon that rose from the ground not X number of days ago?
"Yeah, we have heard its cries through the sky, through the night sky, amongst the stars. It appears that the great god of fire and anger has awoken. Fushi. Do you know of Fushi, the father of fire?"
I am not familiar, though I know if it requests a gathering, all must answer.
"Fushi is in great pain. Our ancestors and our gods do not deign to spend any time on this difficult world, which is why we are here. And yet Fushi is trapped. And because of this, all of our kind suffer. You've felt it, have you not?"
I've felt it.
"Vorel Rasvim Kurik." What is your name?
Well done. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I got it. "You come from a line of great warriors. And it is your time now to fill the shoes of your ancestors and become a great warrior and aid Fushi in returning to his home amongst the stars. Can you do this?"
With great honor.
"And do you have the strength you need, or do you continue to feel weakness?"
I am surrounded by weakness. I wish to understand why action is so complicated among the fleshlings.
It is clear to me you've spent too much time amongst the fleshlings to even wonder about such things. Why do you not kill them?
Borel thinks a moment and looks at the snake and have their own honor about them. And they do desire peace when they've awakened to it.
But in searching for their honor, you have made yourself weak. You sit in existential angst, trying to determine your role in this world when the path is laid right there before you.
Then show me, for I have lost sight of it.
Approach me, child.
I do.
Okay, and you get up, and then she stands up in front of you, and she looks to you, and she takes a palm to your head, and puts it on sort of your snout and area, and begins. Hantu hara kanbari insho haba ranstibe, and the room begins to fill with smoke and drums, and the two guards enter in from behind as well, and they join in unison in the chanting. And as the chanting continues, your head begins to swim, and the world falls away from you as if you fell into a giant hole, and the world runs from you. It's just like zipping away. Finally, you awake in light, and you are in the desert. But the sky isn't the sky. The sky is fire. It's burning. The horizon is nothing but flames all around you. You look around and see nothing but flames in the sand. And you hear rumbling underneath you. And you know that you are prey. As the ground shakes, a giant set of teeth emerge underneath you, attempting to swallow you whole from the sand. Sand just sort of, as the jaws come out from the ground, the sand sprinkles down, and you hear like a loud shh as sand falls from the teeth into the ground, into its own mouth of this thing. And it threatens to swallow you. The teeth come down on either side of you as the ground gives way to throat and tongue, and you're in the maw of some giant beast. And it threatens to swallow you. And you hear the words of the priestess echo. It says, "Find your strength, Forel. Fight."
That I do, and I'll New Hope trash compactor my arms out to the side and attempt to battle this mighty maw.
Strength roll, please.
I will enter my rage.
Done.
And strength roll with advantage for 15.
Okay. So you're able to stop. You put both hands, muscles rippling through scales as they dig in to either side and push the jaws open again. And you let out a cry that echoes, and the flames grow more intense on the horizon as you look up into the sky and see nothing but fiery inferno. What do you do next?
So I've parted the mouth, or at least held it from fully closing.
That's right. And you've got like a foot on maybe a tonsil or something, and some other piece of internal flesh.
Your foot on a tonsil. Sorry, that's a really funny visual. Hey, fan artists, I got an idea for you.
All right, I will climb. I will begin to ascend the chimney of the mouth and make my way to the exit.
Okay.
The flames beckon.
Do you have any plan for the mouth closing as you attempt to climb? Is this an acrobatics check to jump out quickly, or?
No, this would be raw strength. I would expect that if the teeth would close by the time I got there, that I'd punch through them or
okay,
open them.
So let's do an athletics check then.
Chimney climb. Ooh, 23.
Okay, so you put either feet on either side and hoist yourself up using your feet to keep the jaws spread open, and hoist your arms above the teeth, and eventually shimmy your way up so that you're standing and the mouth closes, and you're standing on the mouth, and you see what it is that's assailed you. It's a sand shark, and it has giant eyes and a giant like mouth that it uses to vibrate its way through sand. But you see the telltale fin on the back, and as it realizes it hasn't caught its prey, it sinks back into the sand. And then now you're back onto the sand, and you look around and you start to see fins come out of the ground, and there are 4 fins circling all around your area.
Is this a bully, or is this like a mythical shark creature?
This is a creature of legend, but they're said to exist in the real world. But they are fearsome, rare creatures that eat without conscience, that eat without fear, that have no sense of hesitation when it comes to feeding and strength. And it appears you are the prey now.
My feet landed on the sand as it just descends back into its circling. I know that this is a great honor to battle such raw strength of the desert. And I will prepare an action. And the second one dives up. Now, this thing was giant, right? Huge.
Yeah, you were in its mouth. These are giant creatures.
Does it have smaller ones with it, or are they all of equal size?
You can't tell. You know, the one that tried to eat you was quite large. That's, you were able to fit in its mouth quite easily. So it has a very large size.
Cool. Then I'll hunch over, prepared action to either dive if it's large, or just punch the schnoz if it's of large or smaller.
Okay. You're gonna dive if it's which size? Medium?
Oh no! If it's the huge like legendary one and it comes at me,
okay.
I'll dive out of the way. But if it's smaller guy, I'll just smack it.
So you prepare your action and you wait intently for your opening as the fins circle around, and finally one of the fins breaks off from the circle and seems to be going away, but then makes a sudden turn back towards your direction. You feel ground shake and sand vibrate under your feet as the shark flies into the air. From the sand, a giant explosion of sand shoots up and past you, and you see it's making like this diving motion to try and eat you in midair as it flies through, and it's of a large size, so it's quite large, but it's not gargantuan, and it flies towards you. You've readied your action to punch it in the face, so let's roll that attack roll now.
Excellent. I will use a reckless attack, throwing my whole weight into it with a 15.
Okay, roll your damage dice.
That would be 5 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, and so you bring your fist up and you punch it square in the schnoz. Boom, where like on top of where the mouth is, and it stops dead in its tracks. Pain ripples throughout your body as you've stopped something of a great velocity right there with your punch, and it falls to the ground and it screams, and it can't sink into the ground. It starts flopping around as it struggles to find its way back into the sand. Your turn. It can't attack you right now.
All right, then I will run around and Bowser. I'm going to grab it by its tail and start spinning.
Okay. Strength check, please.
Strength check. There wasn't a full round delay between its attack. Can I still be raging?
You're still raging.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Then it's a 17.
Okay, you lift it, you hoist it up, and it's very heavy, and you start dragging it around with all of your might as muscles ripple, and you do 2 circles with you dragging it on the ground, and then finally it begins to move into the air, and you spin it, and now you're spinning. The velocity is so strong that you couldn't stop it if you wanted to, as you spin with this giant shark in circles.
All right, as I do, I'd like to make a perception check to see if there's any incoming sharks.
Okay. Okay. Roll a perception check.
A 15.
Okay. You do see that there's one of the shark fins that's redder than the other ones, and it appears to be breaking off from the circle and looking to make its way in for an attack.
I kind of dancer ballerina eye it, so that as my head spins around, I've got my eye like keeping an eye on it as it's coming towards me. And I'll either try to bat it if the spin is at that point, or throw it into the other guy if we're at that point.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna throw it if it's far away and then hit it if it's close? Is that
Right, basically, as the spin comes around, are we midair and I can use it like a baseball bat to smack this shark out of the air, or is it still coming at a distance, in which case I'll throw it?
Yeah, I think the baseball bat thing is more likely based on the range. So
Cool.
yeah, so you wait for it, you continue spinning with the thing, and then you see it finally break ground as the ground rumbles again and shakes, and the sand shark flies into the air and goes for an attack on you. You swing the sand shark into its face. Roll an attack roll for that, please.
Would this be strength or
Just roll an
Spitting?
attack.
Okay.
Yeah, well, whatever, strength based. It has to be strength based, I think.
17?
Giant sand shark, not a finesse weapon. What did you roll? Sorry.
17.
Okay, so you smack it. It flies up into the air and shark flesh on shark flesh connect, and the impact causes you to fall prone and let go of the shark. However, the two sharks butt heads baff, and they both fly into the air. There's shark teeth flying out of all of it. You hear a satisfying crunch of destruction, and both the sharks fall onto the ground and start flopping around. But unfortunately, you've gone prone. And the two other sharks directly make their way to you as mouths open up underneath you, and both attack, trying to grab you into their mouths. And they do. Both mouths almost connect in this weird kiss-like like you have one jaw like this and one jaw like this, right? So you're like in this cage of jaws as they both fight over who gets to eat you. And that's the only thing that prevents the jaws from closing. During the tumble, you take some 7 points of damage. And it hurts, but it's not clear that you're in a real place or not necessarily. So, you do take 7 points of damage, and the mouths close in on you, and all of a sudden you're in blackness, and it's hot, and you feel the stench of shark breath fill the room, and everywhere you touch is sharp, and you're now locked into this cage of mouths.
So I am sort of in two socks of sharks. I am.
Yeah. There's they're like the one mouth went like this, and one mouth is like this, and they're like just like trying to fight over who gets to eat you as you're stuck in the center.
Who was the name? What was the name of the dragon she named a while ago?
Fushi.
Like sushi.
Fushi. Fuxi.
And you said it was God of Fire?
God of the Father of Fire.
Father of Fire. Then from inside the shark, but I'm in my own business. I'm not talking to anybody outside the shark. But I will, Fushi! If this is your test, I am better! And I will, for the first time, activate, and I assume inspired by this fairy event, my flaming aura, and declare myself a barbarian rage of fire.
Okay, so are you like a human fireball? What is the aura?
It is. So this is me declaring my barbarian level 3 class. And I'm going to take the Flaming Tempest, where when I rage, there's a fire aura around me that burns those I wish it to.
Okay, well, then you do so.
Excellent.
There's fire all around you inside the mouths of the beast.
All right, then I'm emanating fire in a 5-foot radius around, or 10-foot radius around me, burning the inside of the shark's mouths. And
are there damage rolls, or do they just take the damage? Is that?
It is. I apologize. It's my first time using it.
No, it's okay.
It is my primal path. It is Storm Herald Desert Modifier. And I believe it's a set amount of damage. 2 fire damage each turn in my aura.
All right, but they're set aflame. But in this world, the fire is exacerbated because of the fiery aura of the sky, and the flames that.
Oh, it requires a save. I apologize.
Oh, okay. What save is it?
8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your Constitution modifier.
Okay, so +2, and then Constitution is what, 3 or 4 you have on there?
Yes, I have 1 bit off that.
Your modifier is +3.
Cool.
So it'd be 13.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. They don't save, and the mouths begin setting aflame. You hear the squealing of, It's filling your ears. It's loud, it's deafening in the mouths. Let go, and they sink back into the ground. But you see flesh and flame melting from their mouths as they sink back into the ground. You see the flames all around you begin to descend as if the sky itself was falling and the fire was coming to engulf the land. And there's the sense of hopelessness as fire just rains down upon you, and you begin to get pelted with these little rocks of flame, and the ground eventually just comes and crushes you, or the sky eventually comes and crushes you into fire. And then
as the sky descends, I will attempt to punch it.
Okay, do it. Roll an attack roll.
Reckless attack, a 23 to punch the sky.
You punch the sky. Roll your damage dice.
7 points of damage, which is the maximum damage on
You
mine.
swing your arm into the air, and you take your anguish out on the sky. It doesn't appear to react in any way, but you do successfully connect before fading to black. Hope and Stanley. The footsteps get closer, and they're about to round the corner.
My torch is lit.
As you sit in the crater, pinning the sentient arm, who appears to be limp, into the ground with a rapier. You've got your torch lit. Stanley is more concerned about the arm at this point, just waiting to see what happens. And then rounding the corner, a figure comes around the corner, and it's wearing a sort of cape and hood and has a loincloth on, a stick with a nail in it. And he's got a lot of warts on his body. And he's like, and you see Nash around the corner. And Nash says,
"The hell is going on here?"
One moment, Nash. I light it up. Just burn that thing.
"Oh, you're gonna burn their arm." I thought you were.
No,
lighting
it's
Nash
on.
up.
Yeah,
Like,
as much fire as I can muster.
Okay, attack roll
What would I add to it?
with advantage. It's pinned, by the way. It's an
Okay,
unarmed
cool.
strike, I think, for a torch or possibly club.
Cool. So 20, not natural.
Yeah, it's not unarmed. It's a club. Okay. You set it aflame. Roll your damage die. Roll like a d6 and add your strength to it.
Alrighty, 6 damage.
Okay. Toughest monster yet. This arm. You guys have rolled a lot of damage dice for it. I'm like, it begins to set aflame, and the arm begins to melt, and it sort of curls up the way like a spider would. You know, it just like it shrivels as it burns and doesn't appear to be moving. Becomes blackened and charred. And it smells like cooked meat. You guys realize you're hungry at this point.
Hey Nash,
What happened
we
here?
got attacked by a arm, as you can see.
What? Wait, hold on a second. An arm? These guys look familiar. Who are these dead guys?
These are the Toyota hosts that took Tylander's body. It seems Tylander might not be as dead as we had hoped.
Oh man. I should have made the lizard come with me.
I'm going to take my sword back. I would appreciate it if you all would be very ready in case this thing decides it's not dead.
I'll grab the arm. Is it still on fire?
Giambo.
No.
Yeah. Well, no. It's still on fire. It's only been a few seconds. You know.
Okay.
Yes, it's on fire. Blackened and charred.
Alright, I'm gonna pull the sword out.
Okay, pull the sword out. It goes limp, does nothing.
Well, that's a relief. So, Nash, seems you have come back without the Cyclops, but also without Varel. Where is he?
Okay, long story. You want the full deal or the short story?
Give me the short version.
All
please.
right. We convinced the Cyclops to go eat people so he'll be distracted. The idea was that while he was doing that, we would get back to town, coordinate with you guys, and make a plan. The problem is, Varel saw some of his own people, or at least his own kind, and decided that it was his way to stay around and see what that was about. So he didn't go with me. So I don't know where he is or what he's up to right now, except it seemed important to him. But we don't have a lot of time, is my point. We've got Orp in the middle of what might be the greatest man buffet he's ever seen in his life.
Where exactly did you send him that offers such a wonderful man buffet, as you say?
Not a euphemism. Like, literally, he's going to eat those men. But here's the deal.
You want to talk about man eating for a little bit before we move on?
I'm going to say Varel had this idea to send him on a to one of the routes that they come and go from, and then they would just eat and eat and eat and eat, or he would, and this would distract him long enough for us to do what we have to do. Now, here's the problem: we told him that my knife was a communications device, but only we could hear him and we couldn't respond. So he's talking into a knife at some point. When he realizes that's doing him no good, he's probably going to come stomping back here. So that's the short of it.
I'll look at Stanley. And I'll look back at the arm.
So you sent Orp to go eat people.
He was insistent. This is part of the deal. He really wanted to eat, and it was that, or he was going to make us go with him and eat men with him. Now, I'm not into that. Varel might in a pinch, but I'm not into it. So the goal was he would go distract. He would be away and distracted and not here stomping around town and eating people, so that I could get back here and
tell him he could talk to you through a dagger.
Well, this is actually, I mean, I'm not, I wish he was here to speak for himself, but this was Varel's idea. Basically, we just needed him to go because he didn't want to leave. He wanted to go with us, and he refused to go unless we went with us. So we convinced him that if he took this dagger and used it in this way, that was as good as having us there. So it was a trick, but he fell for it.
That makes it okay.
I mean, what do you need? Would you rather him be here and eating everybody left and right? By the way, where is everybody? The town's empty. What?
I'm not mad at you.
Oh shit!
I'm just disappointed.
Wait, why?
Sometimes that's worse.
This is a good point. This is a good plan, and it was Varel's, not mine.
So, your plan is to keep him distracted for as long as it takes for him to figure out that A, the magical dagger you gave him is not in fact magic, or B, he goes to eat people and gets tired of it and decides to come back looking for you.
Correction.
At which point, he will come to this town and probably smash it looking for you, possibly killing the people we're here to rescue, because he doesn't know what a Dusthillian looks like compared to any other person out there. And even if they do manage to kill him and save the town, I will be blamed for.
All right. 1, Varel's plan. Okay. 2, the thinking is, if we take advantage of the time instead of arguing over this burning hand.
The hand is not an issue. We've addressed the hand.
Right. But we're just standing here when we could be getting those we want out of here before he comes back. The idea is, if we accomplish our goals, he can come blow this place up, and who cares? It's a shithole. There are slaves here. This is a bad place. Let's wipe it from the ass of time.
What?
I like that expression.
Good one.
I smell inspiration.
You already have inspiration.
Oh shit, I haven't used that.
I can only give you one at a time, dude. You're too good. You're too good.
The only problem with this is that the slaves are gone.
Where are
We
they?
can't save anybody right now.
Where are the slaves? Where'd they go?
They evacuated the town
To
on
where?
account of the Cyclops.
Where?
They
We don't
drove
know.
them off to a safe place outside of town. We don't know exactly.
Nobody told you. Don't know the location.
Well, I think we were told, but I can't remember it at the moment.
Oh, the salivating fields. What Syllabus told you guys. You
They-
remember that.
Thankfully, Stanley remembers that they were taken to the salivating fields.
Great. This is better. They're all in one place. We go there. We gather them up. We get out of here. We kill anyone who tries to stop us, and we do it in enough time so that before Orp gets back and destroys everything, and we're not here. We're clear and free. We have our slaves back. We get them on their way to Dust Hill, and then Varel hopefully catches up with us. I'm worried about that bit.
Well, that's a great idea, Nash. Just go ahead and cast Cure Wounds on me. Get me up to speed, and I'll be real good, and we can get right on that.
Oh,
I don't know
yeah.
if you noticed, I'm missing a chunk of my neck right now, so just go ahead and heal me up and take good care of me.
I don't have a healing spell.
Oh, interesting. Neither do I. So I guess we're not going to be mounting any rescues right now, are we?
What happened to your healing spell?
I'm tired.
Yeah, but you had a spell. You've used all your slots, haven't you?
I don't know what that means. All I'm going to tell you is I'm tired. I'm fatigued. There's no more magic today besides little tricks.
Hope, do you have anything that'll help him? We've got to get moving.
I know how to fix cars, and as far as I know, Stanley's not a car. I'm sorry, Stanley.
It's fine.
Well, shit.
As in the middle of this heated argument, Scott, you begin to feel your blood pumping.
Oh, no.
You're starting to feel that butterfly feeling in your stomach as this sort of intensity approaches, and you begin to feel nauseous, and you put your hand on your staff and you start leaning on it, and the others see this. And you begin to
Nash, don't do it.
I can't.
Breathe, Nish.
I'm trying.
But this time it's different. Hope and Stanley, as you look at Nash, his skin begins to change before you, almost as if he starts to, it's like his skin's becoming charred and blackened. And you'd swear almost that bumps were forming on his skins. And these are not these warts, but these sort of hardened bumps in his face. His face starts to look hardened and black.
Oh, this sucks.
He almost looks. It's almost as time progresses and you sort of watch this transformation take place, his skin becomes a little bit scaly.
What did you and
There's like
Varel
these
do
weird
out in the
ripples.
desert, Nash?
Nothing. I've still got Cyclops pee on me. Maybe that's it. I don't know.
And your sides begin to start burning. You start to feel this burning sensation in your throat, like the taste of iron, and your sides begin to start just heating up, Nash. And you can feel this, and you feel very sick. As this happens, you hear a giant. I didn't do that very good, but it echoes throughout. It echoes throughout the desert sky. This isn't anything local. This is a large scream, and I see Hope looking up. So, Hope,
Yeah,
as you
I
look
figured.
up, you see in the bright blue cloudless sky, you see a figure like a bird, wings flapping, and then you hear it again. You hear this like loud scream, and as it gets closer, the form looks familiar. In fact, it looks like the dragon you saw erupt from the ground not a week ago. And as it approaches Nash, you sort of look up to see what she's looking at. As the dragon approaches, you start to feel worse and worse. This intensity.
This is bad.
Yeah, and then you light up into flames. Roll saving throws, Stanley and Hope.
Yeah, this doesn't hurt me.
Dex.
Yeah.
As you die.
Dexterity, yes, please.
16.
25.
Okay. So as he explodes, we'll take half the damage. So rather than 8, you take 4. And flames engulf you as you run out of the area where Nash blows up. Nash, you don't lose consciousness this time.
Oh, okay.
You get down on a knee and you see white in your eye and you have a hard time seeing. It's almost like you're blinded temporarily.
Okay.
You know that feeling of just seeing white, and then you hear a voice in your head, and it's low and ancient, and this voice says, "Mother."
Effer. I'm sorry. What is this? Who are you?
Mother? Where are you, Mother?
I don't understand. Show yourself.
Mother? Where are you? I can't see you, but I can feel you.
I don't know who you are. What is this place?
And breaking your concentration, all this, you hear a from the sky again as the dragon just echoes out this large scream, and finally you actually start to hear some movement in the town. A few car engines spring on, and you start to hear people leave. The dragon flies past the town into the distance, and your symptoms begin to abate. And there's a big blackened, charred sand circle all around you, where you're sort of kneeling, and your vision comes back.
Okay. And who and do I see Hope and Stanley?
You do.
Okay.
Yeah. They're standing there. Some of their clothes have burned singe marks on them.
I'm really sorry, you guys. Is everybody okay? What's the damage? I don't know what that was. I need to talk about it, but is everyone okay first?
Yeah, we're all right.
Stanley.
More or less. Nash, was that caused by the dragon?
Was there a dragon? I mean, could you see it? Was it here?
I mean, we saw it, right?
It flew right over the town.
It's hard to say what was vision and what was real.
You had a vision.
Sort of. It was all white, and I could hear the sounds of what I thought was the dragon, but also an ethereal voice asking for a mother. And I have no idea who that is.
Nash,
Yeah.
do you have a dragon child?
No.
Are you sure?
Well, do I look like a mother?
Effer.
I mean, I don't know what you mean. I'm Nash Maggard of the Solar Mines. I know nothing about mothers or dragons, or the mothers of dragons.
I don't know either. You keep exploding into fire every so often, and right now you're all scaly.
Oh, shit! I look down at my arms, and I see... Do I have the scale still, Bo?
The scale symptoms have begun to subside, but you still do see...
So I can kind of see them?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what this is. I don't know what these are. I don't know any of this. Placing blame on me is a waste of our breath. We've got to figure this out and get out of here.
I mean, I'm not really blaming you. You are the one who exploded. This mystery has been solved.
I can't control it.
Nash.
I can't control it. I don't know what lights the fuse. I don't get it.
You've never had any encounters with a dragon in your life before.
Not that I know of. I have no memory of dragons other than what we've experienced together. I've never seen one until when you and I escaped from the land of the gnomes, or those idiots in the cat. Yes, ma'am.
Before you went underground, you exploded.
Oh, yeah, but there were no dragons in that.
The dragon came out of that same ground.
Oh, you're right. Well, I don't know. Listen, seriously, it's not like I've been to burnt guy psychiatry. I haven't. Maybe I've got memories I can't unlock. We need to find a way, I guess, but I don't know what else to do, and you can't really quarantine me.
Well, you also blew up in Dust Hill. There were no dragons in Dust Hill, but there was a dragon engine.
So you're saying when I'm near dragon artifacts or dragons themselves, I'm blowing up?
I mean, it's about as good a theory as I can come up with. There was a dragon engine under the sands, as well as a dragon, apparently.
I don't have an explanation. All I know is what I heard. Something about mothers. I heard dragons, and that's it. I don't know what else to tell you. If I were you, I'd leave my sorry ass in the desert alone, because I can't control this. So either we're friends and companions, and you're okay having a volatile, possible, potential dragon mother with you, or you leave me here to rot in the sun.
We're not leaving anyone. Should we go back to the inn and get some rest?
I would be for that. Today has turned into a rough day, we'll say.
I need rest. And we need
Okay.
Varel to come home.
I'm gonna bring the charred arm with me. I'm gonna kick sand on it to put the fire out. And I'm gonna bring that stupid arm with me.
Okay, all right. You kick sand on it, and the fire goes out. It's just smoldering, and you're able to pick it up okay at this point. You bring the charred arm with you. All right, so you're returning to Lattlebings, sounds like?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, so you making your way down Hell Street, or are you going to go around to Baker's Row?
You jump.
Probably down Hell Street, I'd imagine.
Okay,
Yeah,
so you
stay
head
on the
down
chase.
Brake Road to Hell Street. Again, town deathly quiet. And you make your way without incident to the intersection of Heaven and Hell. And take a right down to Lattlebings. And you see there that you return to the scene of this morning with the 6th floor wall up top caved in where your room was, as well as you see the place where Orp put his foot through the front entrance. So now there's just a giant hole. There's no one inside as you enter into the hotel area. The cafeteria is still intact, or the lunchroom, and the stairs heading up, and the desk, but the whole front entrance is just wide open now, and dust has begun to blow in from the street.
What do you say we raid the kitchen while no one else is around?
Sounds like we're gonna eat a feast.
I'm
And I'll start putting together some stuff that my family would make. Now this is a family recipe, and I'll start working on some squid.
Looking through the kitchen, is there anything I would find that would constitute, because it's, it's vaguely described in here as rations, that I could replenish our rations with?
I mean, there's sand squid, and there's dried sand squid, so you could make a ration out of a dried sand squid.
Okay. How
just
much can I take?
Some flavored with salt, some flavored with pepper, some flavored with sand squid sauce.
I would take as many as I could.
Okay.
Well, a reasonable amount.
I mean, up to your encumbrance, right? So there's enough there to make like 30 or 40 rations.
I will take it to where I have 5 days worth with me. If anybody else, if you all would like to get in on this sand squid, I would recommend other people carry rations for once, as an idea.
That sounds great.
Sounds good.
I grabbed about that many. 5, 6 handfuls, whatever, however they come. Are they squid per squid?
No, there's several squids. They're dried, so they lose a lot of their size when they become dried. So it takes about 5 or 6 to make a full ration of dried sand squid.
I'll take six dried
According to the thing, 5 weighs about 10 pounds. So
Jesus.
keep that in mind. Yeah.
I mean, it's food.
Yeah, but it's dry. That's really heavy. How big are they?
No, that's for 5 rations.
Oh, 5.
So per ration is 2 pounds. So
Okay.
2 pounds of
All
food
right.
per meal.
All
Yeah.
right. Got it.
So it doesn't. Yeah, it makes more sense that way. 10 pounds. I'm eating 5 pizzas for my ration. Yeah. Okay. So you guys spend some time in the kitchen assembling your rations, and make sure to add them to your inventory on dndbeyond.com.
Do that right now.
And then as you do this, you hear footsteps descending the stairs from the kitchen. You hear a creaking, and you look out and you see a woman with a red coat and the belt full of bullets in it, and red pants, stumbling down the stairs, somewhat drunken, and then stops on the stairs and just kind of looks. And this is the one that Varel said he liked.
Good morning. Would you like some food?
She looks at you through glassy eyes and says, "You know what? I'd love some food. What do we got? Sand squid again?
Plenty of it.
Oh shit."
It seems to be about all they have, unfortunately.
She saunters on over, sits at the table, and then falls asleep.
Guess we could put something in front of her.
I'll just cut off a little bit of the sand squid. The little plate over there.
All right, so you leave some sand squid out for her, even though she's asleep in front of her. Doesn't appear to have taken any notice of any of the destruction around as she sleeps. You hear snoring, and yeah. But apart from that, the assemblage of lunch is without event.
Okay. Is that what time of day it is, by the way? Just curious where we're at on the clock.
Probably around afternoon, like 1 or
Okay.
2 in the afternoon.
Okay.
Nash, do you think we need to be worried about Vorel? Do you think we should be going looking for him?
Knowing what I know about Varel, I think he's probably okay. But I just have a funny feeling about it. I didn't like leaving him there. So it's your call, Stanley. If you think it'd be better to go get him than wait for him, I would do that. We need our rest first because you're hurting, but I'd go back out. All for one, one
He's
for all.
meeting with a gathering of his people. There's very little I'll be able to do today, but I don't like the idea of leaving a companion out there, possibly in danger. It's up to you two. I'm not going to be of much use to you, but if you want to go out tonight rather than rest up, I would go with you.
Hope we don't have a car yet, do we?
No.
Like anything, I know the Fate 4 is hosed at the moment, but is there anything around here? Some old hunk of junk?
What I could do is now that it seems that the garage operators are dead, we can go raid the cars out there and see if either fix up the Fate 4 or get a new one.
Well, at the very least, Stanley can get rest. We hop in whatever car works, assuming we find one at the garage. We go out and look for Varel, which will take way less time. Try not to attract too much attention as best we can with a running motor. Get him, bring him back. If for some reason no car, we'll just run again. We'll load up on squid and go.
As you say this, you hear footsteps on wood approach the front of the hotel, and the familiar robed figure of the magistrate, whom you've met a few times, appears in the doorway. And he's this tall, slender elf, the appointed politician for the principals, and he walks in and surveys the area. And as you speak, he goes,
Well, hello, are you here for lunch as well? And I'll motion to the passed out woman.
No, I'm not here for lunch. I'm here, in fact, for you.
Who?
All of us?
The three of you. And perhaps her too. Is she with you?
No, she's drunk.
We don't know her.
I've heard she's quite formidable. Perhaps you should ask her to join you.
For what?
Regardless, I'm here to speak to you about a matter of great import.
Talk then. We're not going anywhere until I'm tired of mystery walks with people I don't know. Gets us in bad situations. I might be a mother dragon. Go, talk,
Fine,
say it.
I will get to the point. Angry man. You remember who I am, right? I'm the magistrate here in town, and I'm the principal's appointed representative here in the Slave Town concern.
Oh.
As you might have noticed, we're under siege at the moment. There's a giant that it was explained to me by the Kuromokishi that you're responsible for saving us from and for managing. And I realized that might have been a monumental task, but I have to ask again for your help because my agents are otherwise tied up fortifying the salivating field plantation from further attack. while we figure this thing out. Can I count on you for your help?
What is it exactly you need us to do?
Well, it appears that you've slain Thailander. However, and that death appears not to have taken. I've just received a report from my general indicating that the being known as Thailander has returned to life somehow and has slaughtered many of our militia.
I'm pretty sure Hope has his arm.
I'll pick it up and wave.
Is that his arm? I don't know.
Well, who else? Everybody else's arm got fingers taken off. This is, I think that who else's arm would it be?
So I'm authorized to tell you a few things that even our Kuromo Kishi folk don't know. But this being, Thailander, he's made pacts with demons that have given him unnatural abilities and strength in life. And I am out of options on how to deal with them. And I can't return to the principal in failure. Now I'm trying to secure other forces to come assist with us, but you've proven yourselves to be formidable champions in the name of the principal's interests. And I once again call upon you to serve the principal. It goes without saying that you will, of course, be greatly rewarded for your efforts here by me personally.
And what sort of reward are we talking about?
We'll figure that later if you live, but it'll be ample.
Horseshit.
I assure you, Mr. Angry Nash, that it is far from horseshit.
Why can't you tell us now what you intend to give us?
Because I don't have the resources on me in this moment, but I have the support of the principal, which means whatever wishes in this wasteland of a world that could be granted, you could receive.
What information do you have on Thailander and his current whereabouts?
That he's been researching and made pacts with demons. Do you believe in demons? I mean,
Of course, we believe in demons.
I know that your ancestors are rumored to come from demons, but in all seriousness, have you ever seen a demon?
Yes, actually.
Yeah, we all have.
Yeah.
I've seen dragons too.
Killed a demon, actually.
You've seen demons.
Yes.
Yes.
Didn't we?
Yeah, we killed one.
Oh, yeah. The bubbling
Quizquaz.
Quizquaz, yeah. You ever heard of Quizquaz? Smart guy?
In fact, I have.
Oh.
Oh,
no.
really?
Now I know you're not lying because very few utter that name and know what they refer of. That's he makes a note of it in his mind. He sort of stands there and thinks. He says, Thailander has made his own pact with another demon, and killing him won't be enough. Now,
What do we have to do?
the one thing that I've been doing a bit of research in my time in the past few days at the land claims office to find out what exactly he's been doing in town since his capture. And I was aware that the sheriff had him, but I don't know why he didn't make his move to escape. I was just waiting to see what he would do. And it seems to me that there was an interesting entry in the ledger in the land claims office that at the very bottom of the black mine, Catherine Speckles also appears to own that floor, the 999th level of the black mine. I thought that was strange given all the talk about finding the deed to the Chopper mine and this Catherine Speckles and who that might be. So I looked into it. You heard this information from Celovus, yes? I'm assuming quite a bit, but I mean, whatever Celovus knows, I know pretty much. So if I had to lay odds on finding our friend Thailander and his machinations, I'd be willing to bet our answers lie in the bottom of the black mine. But I need people, strong, brave, formidable people, to find out what exactly is going on down there.
And you can't tell us what you'll give us in return.
I'll give you everything your heart desires. What do you desire? Women?
No.
You'll have them.
No.
Men, you'll have them.
I don't-
Slaves, you'll have them.
Okay, maybe.
Food,
those.
you'll have it.
Okay.
What do
We
you
want
want?
the people of Dust Hill freed and
Done.
Dust Hill protected
Done.
from any further raids.
Done. We can do that. But we have no resources if this place goes up in smoke.
Can I talk to my friends for a moment without you listening?
Very well. And he moves towards the entrance and looks out on the street.
All right, I come over there and go, okay, we have two problems. I'm all for this as a way to get the slaves out of here. And if we die down there, then we die trying. And if they get out, that's great. But here's the problem. We don't know where Varel is, and we need him for this. We can't do this without him. We need a tank, basically. Here's the other deal. There's a certain one-eyed bastard who is right now eating men's who might be done while we're on this adventure, while we're going to the 999th floor. If that happens, then all hell breaks loose up here, and we don't know about it. And maybe we've done this for nothing because the slaves are wiped out anyway if he makes it to the salivating fields. So we got to make a decision here, and I don't know how to solve those two problems.
I say we give Varel a chance to come back, and Stanley needs to rest anyway.
So what, we ask him for time to rest, and then we
tell him we'll start in the morning. We need to wait for our companion to return.
That should be enough time. We still shouldn't see Gorp or Vorp or whatever the hell his name is. He shouldn't be back yet.
I mean, he's a dangerous X factor. The idea that he's going to potentially come back at any time is a bit problematic, but there's nothing else we can do. We can either try to help them and help our people and risk him showing up, or say no, and he's going to show up anyway.
And we've got something. There's really nobody here in the town anyway, and he doesn't know about the salivating fields.
It's a good point. All right, are we agreed? That's how we're going to do it. Wait for Varel, or find him or get him, get rest, and go.
I think that's a good idea.
All right, Jimmy John, come here. And so I call you back over.
And the name is Athenelia.
Sorry. I hear of an ancient fast food delight called Jimmy John's, and it made me hungry. Listen, here's the deal. We'll do what we'll do what you ask.
An ancient fast food delight called Jimmy John's.
Well, we are in the distant, far-flung post-apocalyptic
I love
future.
Nash's past lore.
I
He's
have
got
all
a
kinds
great-
I have books and things of the Solar Mind. You guys know it. No idea. All the popular
Yeah,
culture.
sure.
I know it all.
Okay, so anyways, my apologies.
So it's okay.
Yes.
So we're like, we'll do what you say, but you need to come through on your end of the deal, and we need to think quickly. The only problem is we have to wait for our friend Varel, and he'll either arrive shortly or we'll have to get him, but we can't do this without him. As soon as he's here, we'll go.
The fate of our world is in your hands at this point. I can only ask that you do it as quickly as possible, for time is of the essence, and we can't let Thailander win.
Where exactly is the Black Mine located? How do we get there?
It's to the west of town. Take the road following out where Gil and Jill's brew house is, and you'll see that. Just follow that direction, and you'll see the Black Mine. You can't miss it. There's a large quarry dug into the ground and into the mountainside.
And besides the obvious issue of the warlock and potential demons, are there any other dangers we should anticipate going into the mine?
I mean, I couldn't even begin to imagine. We saw animated corpses not but a few hours ago fighting our men and slaughtering them by the dozens.
So yes.
And before we go, do we have free reign to hit up the shops and take what we need?
Yes. Take whatever you need to do this. I don't know who is in town, who isn't. if someone's still hanging around protecting their goods, which is likely the case, they may take exception to it. But the principal has no issue.
Is the garage also considered a shop? Because we might need to take things there.
I really don't know the answer to that.
Well, Hope works there, so it's not like, we'll return whatever we take.
You're talking about Owen's garage.
Yeah.
I think the Owens are dead.
Yeah, that's kind of that's the bonus. I mean, I like them and all, but...
I was very sad about their child, too.
Oh, I didn't hear about that one. I like kids.
Died in an accident. Got run over by one of our Toyota host trucks. Was not intended. Very sad.
Well, this is a bummer.
Yeah, you've really taken us down a positive road there, Nash. Thank you. We appreciate it. We will get started as soon as we can.
Okay, with that, Ethan Elia says, I will be retiring to the salivating fields. Come find me there. And if you can, bring me Tylander's desiccated head so that we can mount it as a warning to all other usurpers. Usurpers?
Usurpers. Usurper.
You may want to be careful. Sometimes these limbs are tricky even after they're disconnected.
Very well. I take my leave. And you hear this loud.
Wow.
And the woman at the chair just yawned really loud while sleeping. And the new fate in your hand, you ponder it while chewing on some sand squid. Meanwhile, the camera pans out of Slavetown and shows it from a giant view and then circles over sickly into the desert, and it zooms back in to Varel lying in dirt as the dusk begins to settle in and the sun begins to go down. You see stars. You are swimming in stars. You're swimming in outer space. And then the world begins to come to as you feel a jab in your ribs. Wake up. Wake up, warrior. And one of the lady guards is standing above you as you open your eyes, and he's by the scruff, got this little figure, and it says, "Does this belong to you?" And you see the familiar figure of Bok Bok, and he goes,
I will jump up and dust myself off and say, yes, he is my ward.
See to it that he behaves himself while he's here. He's quite filthy.
Agreed.
And you find yourself out in the sand. However, you're near the tent. The encampment's still there, and everything's still as you left it. But you're outside at this juncture.
Was it real? Yes, Bok Bok.
What
yes.
was real?
How did you get here?
I follow King.
We should be heading back. No?
Not good idea. Town. Bad.
What did you see, Bok Bok?
Dead walk.
Points? Out of the eyes? How many? 4, 2, and 1. That means there's a new one. I only know of 3.
He says, "Let's go to my tribe and ask forgiveness."
Forgiveness.
Safe.
Bok Bok, I'm afraid that this may be when we part ways if you're not brave enough to be my servant.
He says, I'm brave. Hungry
Yes.
too.
But We must return to town.
And he obligingly, sort of nods and says, "Okay."
And as he, I kind of push him out in front of me like a child towards the city, and I turn back. Will I be seeing you all soon? In Draconic to the lizards.
Mm-hmm. And one of the guards looks at you and says, our purpose here is done. You have found your path again, Vorel. Others need us, and we move on. But should you need us, you know how to sing to the star.
Thank the priestess for this great gift. And praise be to Fushi, whose flames I shall spread.
Before you leave, should you find yourself with a desire to copulate, our priestess has expressed interest in copulation, but did not want to be presumptuous before making inquiry.
Now?
She thought you had pressing matters for the moment. We mean in the future. We shall meet. She will meet you again to copulate.
Very well.
Would you like me to pass along anything? What response shall I give?
Tell her that the physical world demands my attention for now. But our spirits will be one in the future for a time.
I will pass along this message, warrior Vorel. May the stars shine your way.
And yours.
And she takes her retreat, and you can see she's starting to prep the tent for departure. And you return back to Bok. He goes, he says, funny lizards, funny.
Yes, the primary objective is often funny, Bok. Have you had the pleasure?
Pleasure what?
Of children, Bok. Do you have children? Strange.
And he looks at him and he says, maybe I have children. Geetent. And it just sort of dawns on him that Geetent's back in the town. We go. Geetent, we go.
You found your spark, Bok. Let us proceed.
He starts running off without you actually back into the town, realizing that he also he might have feelings for you, Vorel, but he has feelings as well for Geetent.
That's cute.
And you run back into the town, towards the town. Okay, I think we leave it there for today, folks.
Oh, man. I am terrified about what my problem is. I really am. I mean, I'm super interested to find out, but I'm freaked. I'm freaked out. Oh, I love that.
Heart.
Oh, it's so good.
I might be a mother dragon.
Let's wipe this place from the ass of time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Where that came from. Well, anyway, thank you everybody for joining us. Of course, as always, if you would like to follow up on the good times we've had here, go on over to therewillbedungeons.com. Therewillbedungeons.com. You'll have links to everything that we got going on. There are now going to be, by the way, this is new. Whenever we post a new episode, there'll be a blog post associated with it there at the site that you can click off to and read, and it gives a little bit of show notes about what happened tonight. And you can leave your own comments. So if you have your thoughts and feelings you want to share there instead of email or other ways, that's great. Or all the other ways are fine too. Just want to make it as open as possible. And therewillbedungeons.com will feature that starting with today's episode. So watch for that a little bit later today, especially those who maybe are listening now and are thinking they'll go check that out. And that applies to you live listeners and users and viewers as well. We'll be back next time to find out what's next for our little band of adventurers. Until then, take care. can't find the freaking exit. Hold
I
on.
like that music.
This
It
is
sounds
your
like
This show
radio
is part of the Frog. Hold on.
This is your
This show
radio
is part
newscast.
of the doing. Sorry. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. I don't know what happened there.
That last song was like Varel's theme.
Yeah, yeah, it was
Yeah.
cool. It was all jungly and cool. Oh, that was great. I loved it.
Yeah.